r/AskReddit, if you could create a new law about money, what would it be? Something to do with Congress and insider trading. Tipping will be banned and workers who solely rely on tipping should get a regular salary. 1. First rule, BlackRock and Vanguard cannot own everything. A truth in menu prices law. All food and drink prices must be listed on a menu, already including all costs up front. So the final receipt price at the end is a straight line item summation of the items bought. Tip lines and any other post-price additions cannot be offered as part of the finalized bill, even if they are offered optionally. I believe some countries already have laws like this, so this is referring to the US and countries like it. That'd be laundered literally. Cash is so gross and I feel disgusted just handling it and thinking about all the places it has been. On a serious note, financial planning courses should be mandatory in both high school and college. I see so many people around me suffering not due to a lack of income but due to poor financial planning. So many of them need to happen. A great start at the root of the problem would be that American politicians cannot keep unused campaign donations. Mortgages may only be used to purchase a primary residence. Only one primary residence may be designated at any given time. All other real estate transactions must be paid in full upon closing without the use of leverage. Change the U.S. tax code where interest earned in savings isn't taxed as ordinary income. That was an extra tax I wasn't expecting, can't catch a fucking break. Oh, this thread is gonna be full of balanced and level-headed opinions. If I could create a new law about money, it would be the Universal Wealth Act. This law would introduce a currency called joy gems. Every time you spread joy or positivity, you earn a joy gem. These gems could be used to purchase anything you desire, making everyone rich in joy and material wealth. Make sleeping in cars legal. In this thread, people who don't understand second and third order effects. Once a person reaches $10 million in cash, the rest is used to improve others. If the government runs deficit, there needs to be a referendum for a solution instead of let's just print more money. The lowest position's hourly wage at any corporation must be a minimum percentage proportional to the highest position's total compensation, wages, stock options, stock value, etc. With that percentage being high enough that the vast majority of profits go back into the pockets of labor. The wage gap between the laborers and the CEOs, and other executives, needs to be reined in. We need a rule that directly ties executive pay to the wages of the people that are actually producing the product/value being sold. You can't use money to influence politics. Politician salaries not being able to be higher than 2 times the median salary in the country. I collect coins, so my first thought was about the physical coinage and currency itself. A large, omnibus bill. 1. Removing presidents from the obverse of coinage and banknotes and replacing them with depictions of the goddess Liberty and / or something else of American cultural significance like the golden age of American coinage and currency. This should allow me to keep the Tubman $20 as well as the American Women Quarter Series. It would probably include bringing back the Flying Eagle cent from 1857 to 1858, though probably not as the penny, see point 3. 2. Removing "In God We Trust" from coins and currency. At least for banknotes, that's a bit of Cold War-era anti-communist propaganda and doesn't mesh with my interpretation of the separation of church and state. If you disagree with me, imagine for a second the motto was "In Satan we trust, in Buddha we trust, in Vishnu we trust, or in our Lord and Savior Jeb Bush we trust, hallowed be his name." The reasons those are bad and you dislike them are the same reasons "In God We Trust" is bad. 3. Replacing the quarter with a 20-cent piece and ditching the penny and nickel altogether, so that all prices can round to the 10 cent. 4. Probably adding some commemorative designs. Maybe a commemorative dime series, that's like the only circulating US coin that hasn't had a commemorative series. Edit. 5. Discontinuing paper $1 and $2 bills, creating a $2 coin, restarting the standard release of $1 coins into circulation, and starting and running a promotional campaign to increase circulation of $1 and $2 coins. I own all of it. If the US spends more than 3% over its GDP, no sitting member of government is eligible for re-election. There's a finite amount of money in the world, and more cannot be created at all. When you donate money, charities are legally required to publicly disclose how they are spending the money and how much of it is going into salaries and fees. Whenever there is content with significant prizes, companies are only allowed to market the post-tax and fees value, not the inflated gross value. Public prize and contests must be legally registered so that they can be legally verified on a database before people partake in them. Base the annual pay for the Senate, President, and Congress on the economic performance of the country. The only taxes that may exist are VAT and income tax. Income tax may only have one universal rate regardless of wealth. Amendment that would permanently allow physical money, i.e., cash, to be used for transactions. Disallow any form of social credit score to limit access for people to buy or sell. Essentially, anyone can conduct a transaction for legal goods. Re-explore gold standard. Limit government ability to track, monitor, or allow electronic transactions. Personal wealth above a certain point, as in, you literally could not spend it even if you tried, rich not just very rich, is 100% tax. I don't mean millionaires even. People have often had to work very hard to become rich. I believe in meritocratic principles. Hard work and applying talent should be rewarded over doing and achieving less. There's got to be an incentive. But billionaires? It's not an incentive anymore, it's just a game. You can't spend all that money. Congratulations, you won capitalism. The rest of the wealth created will now be used to improve the country/world. I'd like to see billionaires try to defend it. I guess they, and their apologists, could always say that it's a dystopian principle, is a man not entitled to the sweat off his brow? But that's pretty weak if we're talking about the Musks and the Bezoses. To make it valid you need to write a cute personalized note on the back. I would make money go back to being coins that were made to actually be worth their value in weight of metal. Fire smiling face with horns fire. Bring back the gold standard. Everyone has to give me half. Gimme some, I want it. Money cannot be created or loaned into existence, it must be backed by something costly to produce. This would ensure money maintains its value and would practically eliminate inflation. Banks shouldn't be allowed to create so much money with loans. Politicians are not allowed to take bribes. Or companies cannot bribe scientists to say what the companies want them to. Something to stop high-speed share trades. Force shares to get back to the root cause of what they are meant to be, finance for people/companies that actually do something. I get $0. 0.1 per transaction. Everyone is required to invest in their own retirement when employed. Everybody in the entire world owes me a $50 tax once per month. New US federal sales tax of 0.01% on all items, minimum 1 cent per transaction, all of which goes to me. Employers have to pay their employees at the bare minimum whatever the employee's monthly rent is plus 35% so they have a little cushion. It isn't great still, but no one should be worried about not being able to pay their bills and buy basic necessities when they work 30 to 40 hours or even more a week. I would create a monetary law that encourages environmental initiatives and sustainable practices. Imagine getting a bonus for being eco-friendly with your spending habits. Talk about a win-win situation for both your wallet and the planet. Every 29 February. All money in the world will be placed on a big table, and people get to roll dices, and if they get a 6 they are allowed to take a money. When there are no money left on the table they can begin to take money from each other. It has an expiration date. Expiration dates. Imagine the economy if money expired. People would stop hoarding. Markets would boom. Generational wealth would cease. I'm sure there are a million pitfalls. Never claim to be an economist. No printing money for JPEL. I'd figure out how to make a law that financial companies have to use plain, layman's English and cannot invent all these bullshit terms and loopholes about money so they can keep it out of the hands of the peasantry. A law promoting transparent and ethical financial practices to ensure fair wealth distribution. 3 words, land value tax. Probably one of the best economic/fiscal policies that basically nobody knows about. I wish I could hunt Bigfoot, but thanks to Washington, I can't. If your personal assets, be it under your name or under your control, are than 50,000 times above the national median, not average, all the excess will be heavily taxed, like 90%, and the money will be exclusively used to improve the country's infrastructure and to reduce the wealth disparity. The more laws create about money, the more problems with businesses, restricting money supply flow to the market. Give it all to me. I would make changes to the way large banks, specifically the GSIBs, create and reduce synthetic positions for hedge funds. Popcorn for people watching. Popcorn, 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 popcorn. Upper limit on wealth. Lower limit too. Capitalism is the burger in between two socialism buns. Either wage theft would carry criminal penalties, jail, for business owners, or a 1/10 cent transaction fee, per stock, traded. It would either quickly remove the biggest by dollar theft in America, or eliminate/provide all the evidence of a lot of financial crimes. Give me all the money. If in the future there'd be a brain chip that can deliver dopamine hits via electric signals by the payer, replicating the ones you get when you get paid for a service or product. If that is to be a thing in the future, I'll make that tax-free. It's destroyed US politics, maybe even global politics. Also, I get rage at the stories of banks or corporations going bankrupt and disrupting world economies and causing financial crisis, and government bailouts are given, but certain roles in the failed companies use that money to get their big corporate multi-million bonuses. Limit the gap between the highest and lowest paid workers within a company. Something like the highest salary can only be 10x the lowest salary. That way, if the highest paid person is making millions a year, the lowest paid, whose labor is helping that other person earn millions, is also earning a decent living. Anybody with a net worth above a certain threshold would be legally required to use that money to help those in need. Obviously, the law itself would be a lot more nuanced than that, but yet, there'd be a max amount of money a person was allowed to have, and any money more than that would have to go to people who need it more. No more billionaires, no more lower class, only middle and upper. Maximum rate on any form of loan/finance can only be 1%. Make stock buybacks illegal. Congress cannot hold or trade stocks while in office. Campaign spending will have a cap. Any money a corporate gets from the government should go to actual investment in equipment, personnel/workers, and not shareholders or CEOs. Billionaires can't exist. Once you reach 999 million, the rest is taken and put into programs to help the rest of society. The sharing of wealth without a higher power taking advantage of it. A true utopian world. Tax capital the same way that property is taxed. You can't invest in stock except privately. The only company that should be able to create interest is the government, because they have guaranteed income and can give slightly more tomorrow than they can today, but can afford it either way. All other platforms for investments are a scam that creates inflation and a middleman. If a company wants to sell you stock, they will find a way. Everyone gets their cut of the profit. CEOs can't make more than 15x lowest employee's salary. That I must be given all of it? Your bank statements have to reflect your balance net of inflation. No more pretending your money is safely invested at the bank. Audit and abolish the Federal Reserve and IRS if illegality or unconstitutional practices are found in the respective organization, even if it's just one case, no statute of limitations. Also, if illegality is found, all debts owed to the respective organization is considered null and void. Abolish all forms of usury. Abolish the USD and institute a new currency that is backed by gold, silver, and other commodities. Ban all forms of lobbying. Full financial disclosure of all elected officials and any organization or business they receive any form of money, stock, royalties, gifts from to be made easily accessible to the public no less than 1 year prior to election and every other year after. This goes for the politician as well as immediate family like spouse, child, sibling, parent, child's spouse. Hold on all stock trading for all the same persons or organizations listed previously for 18 months after the time of purchase or sale of any stock. Single issue spending bills. No spending bills shall be longer than 1 page. All spending bills must be submitted to each member of the legislative branch no later than 1 week prior to the scheduled vote. Congress shall not adjourn until the budget is balanced. Any deficits must be negotiated and brought to a $0 balance before Congress is allowed to depart from session. A 14% sales tax will be implemented on all new, non-essential items. This applies to all persons, organizations, businesses, LLCs, etc. The standard of essential for a person citizen of the United States will apply to all other categories. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.